Positive Spin, presenting positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world. On today's show, we feature highlights from Positive Spin programs of the past year. We'll hear Dr. Jane Goodall and Betty White at a benefit for the Jane Goodall Institute. And finally, we'll see a profile of Father Edwin Garrigues, a recipient of the annual Goldman Environmental Prize.
Hello, I'm Bill McCarthy, and I want to welcome you to Positive Spin. On today's program, we're pleased to present highlights from Positive Spin's past year of presenting positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world.
We have recipes and ideas for how to use these varieties. We also, as part of our educational outreach program, we host a seed school with our friend, teacher, and mentor, Bill McDormand from Native Seed Search. It's an opportunity for people from diverse backgrounds to come together and learn about the miracle of seeds, both the history and the present situation, as well as how to grow, how to process, all of the different tricks, and also the possibility of starting your own seed company or library or seed exchange.
Thank you for visiting us.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Happy gardening.
Hi, it's Bill McCarthy. We're here with Positive Spin. We're at the annual Plug in America Parade, which will go down Main Street in Santa Monica, and it recognizes all of the achievements in the development of the new electric cars. This vehicle here is one of Santa Monica's electric vehicles, a city at the forefront of using electric vehicles. Now, many other cities are now getting up to the bat as well and doing their part to turn things around to save our environment.
My hero, Janice Hahn, one of two members of Congress that has an electric.
I have an electric car because I've been driving them since 1970. I reasoned back then, when the smog was so horrible in LA, that if I stopped buying gasoline, that it would be better for the air. I was correct. The air is much better than it was back in 1970. Why? Because we've cleaned up a lot of regular cars, and we've moved towards other renewable fuels and what have you, and we're starting to do this kind of stuff where we have really clean vehicles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I see your smoke rising in the air when you think no one is there. In the still of the night, my child starts to wheeze. You're a bright torch, it burns all night. To find my way through the house, I don't even need a light.
Activist Hilton Kelly's hometown is on the fence line of 8 separate petrochemical facilities, including Shell Motiva.
When I was growing up in this community, you always have a sense that, you're not gonna go anywhere, you can't achieve anything. I left Port Arthur, Texas with dreams of becoming an actor and a stuntman in Hollywood, and I was just so set back by the dilapidated situation of downtown. And I found that a lot of people were ill, usually it's cancer related. And there was a large number of kids here with respiratory problems.
The hard-fought agreement Hilton forged with Shell Motiva included a multi-million-dollar fund for his community.
I've always had that kind of fighting spirit, and I saw that there was a need for somebody to take a stand for this community, and we're still fighting today.
For outstanding environmental achievement in North America, the 2011 Goldman Environmental Prize is awarded to Hilton Kelly, Port Arthur, Texas.
734,000 people died as a result of Chernobyl. When did you ever hear anything about it in today's media? We all know that today's media owners, you could probably count on 2 hands. They don't want this information out there. They just want you to be sheep. Lie down, buy another pair of sneakers, buy a soft drink, and shut the up while we rob you. That's what's going on.
Stephen Stills and Bonnie Raitt playing guitar together.
As Eleanor Roosevelt said, where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places close to home. So close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman, and child seeks equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere.
Prem Rawat has traveled the world talking to people across all cultures, bringing a message of hope in response to one of people's most basic needs. Reaching millions of people through live events, Words of Peace television broadcasts, and the internet. He reminds people that the key to peace, both personal and global, lies within each person.
Peace is a fundamental human need that needs to be felt from within.
When innovation is needed, the Prem Rawat Foundation will take a chance, as they did in Bantoli, India, when they teamed up with village elders and a local charity to build the first Food for People facility. Food for People model was so successful, a second facility was built in the rugged mountains above Kathmandu, in the village of Chisarpu. When Food for People opened its doors in 2009, it began serving 1 meal a day to 500 children and 100 elderly adults. The Foundation looks for organizations to support where there is an opportunity for lasting impact. The Cambodia Children's Fund rescues children who scavenge for food in the garbage dumps of Phnom Penh and provides them with food, shelter, education, and medical care. In Soweto, South Africa, TPRF funds lunches for 500 at-risk high school students. Peace education classes in correctional facilities are expanding.
Here we are in San Antonio, Texas, outside the Dominguez State Jail, getting ready to go in and do our weekly inner peace class.
What Prem Rawat did for me was he connected me to a feeling of peace.
After doing it for 12 weeks, we decided to continue it on because within those 12 weeks it was about a week and a half to start noticing change in the offenders that was part of the pilot program. It's still turning out offenders that goes back out into the society and not return.
TPRF provides people around the world a chance for a better future.
I would say coming to Africa makes you want to come again.
The world we know, but we don't realize, is getting smaller and smaller.
We feel very happy when doctors come to share their experience with us.
As women's health goes in a country, so goes the nation.
Medicine for Humanity's dedicated and diverse group of volunteer physicians has helped countless courageous women across many borders since 1995.
Medicine for Humanity is an international medical care and teaching organization aimed at improving the health of women all around the world.
Today, we are serving 30,000 meals a year in our local community and at Skid Row in downtown LA. We serve these meals the Khalsa way. We travel in a convoy with Monday Night Mission, which is a diverse group of all faiths, cultures, and races. We protect our volunteers and those we serve. Each person is greeted by name and served with grace and respect. We are anxious to expand the service to other cities and nations and become a global force for humanity. Our network of regional chapters will provide disaster relief and humanitarian aid with security wherever and whenever it is needed.
Mr. Ambassador Sergio Duarte is the High Representative for the United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs. But let's talk about what the UN is doing. I know Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has developed a 5-point proposal on how to deal with the nuclear proliferation, nuclear arms. What are some of those points, and what is your office doing to help move this discussion and to implement them?
Well, the first point of his proposal deals with the need for the countries, particularly those who possess nuclear weapons, to comply with their obligations.
From the beginning, the laws of natural order foresaw the outcome of this metamorphosis. Long before the fishes charted course beneath the surface of the deep, long before man first walked the surface of the earth, subduing, possessing, ordaining himself ruler over all. Now man, bereft of foothold, stumbles to comprehend, bound not to a violin, but to the handle of a pick. No longer an instrument to inspire, discover, nor to build. Instead, a tool to dominate, exploit, and destroy. Professing altruistic, patriotic intent while enacting a predatory pragmatism in the service of self, he becomes a living instrument of self-destruction.
To gather round, the moment's now. How will it all turn out? To gather round, the moment's now. How will it all turn
There's a public outcry for people who want a better planet, and there are powers that be that let their people panic. Look at the Gulf of Japan, could they have really planned it? Heading for the iceberg like the Titanic.
Atlantic mystery, Atlantis white from history. The truth about the pyramids in ancient Mayan prophecy.
Space Odyssey, look into the anomalies, and you will find suppression of free energy technology.
A false democracy born out of a monopoly. Sacred knowledge robbery like the towers they toppling.
No stopping free.
J-Brain,
Vito C.
Coming from the inner me.
Free energy.
The oil's running dry.
Our money's burning out.
Solar panels on the roof of the White House.
Hey!
We bringing on some real change.
Water catchment systems.
We collecting rain.
Time to gather round, the moment's now. How will it all turn out? And from the crowd, be the one who's the meditation sound for free energy. Time to free energy.
Mitakipi Chajekire Makupi Wambali Jaja Zizi Tancha Emeado. We're here on one of our sacred mountains of the Black Hills, and we're in the country in the land of Crazy Horse at this time. And we want to welcome you and to the International UN Peace Day of 2012.
this International Day of Peace, let us take stock of our efforts to promote peace and well-being for all people everywhere. Let us nurture what we have already accomplished. Let us dedicate ourselves to all we have yet to do. I call on people around the world to observe a minute of silence at noon today. And I call for a day of global ceasefire, a 24-hour respite from the fear and insecurity that plague so many places. On this International Day, let us promise to make peace not just our priority, but our passion. Let us pledge to do more, wherever we are, in whatever way we can, to make every day a day of peace.
Honourable Gianni Pittella, first Vice President of the European Parliament, hosted an international conference in Brussels entitled Peace and Well-Being, the Founding Values of the European Union. The keynote speaker, Prem Rawat, known internationally as Ambassador of Peace, addressed an audience of 250 dignitaries from across Europe. They gathered to sign a declaration of intent to foster peace among people of the world, calling for each individual to make a pledge to peace based upon the founding values of the European Union. 26 international institutions represented at the conference signed the pledge, now known as the Brussels Declaration.
In the next segment, we hear the words of Dr. Jane Goodall and actress Betty White on the occasion of a very special benefit for the Jane Goodall Institute's Roots and Shoots programs, which inspires youth around the world to be activists for the planet, for animals, and for human beings.
It's such an honor and such a thrill tonight to be able to introduce my friend Jane Goodall. And it's even more of a privilege to be able to call her my friend, because she certainly is. Jane and I have known each other for quite a few years. We really have. And we both are deeply, deeply in love with animals. And we've done everything we can. Well, she's done a lot. She can more than I can. She's done so much for animals. And we all work for them as much as we can. The only thing I can say, I've never kind of been one to wear short shorts on the cover of National Geographic magazine. But I guess if it helps the chimpanzees act like this, I can tell you she really is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my deep honor and privilege to introduce my friend, Jane Goodall.
I'm going to start off by bringing in a different voice into this space, and I'm going to guarantee that this voice hasn't been heard here before. Betty's been talking about animals and what they do for us. So what about the voice of an animal? And of course I'm going to choose to give you a greeting that you would hear if you came with me to Goldman National Park in Tanzania. And so if, as I think we are the most intellectual creatures to ever walk the planet, the multi-million-dollar question is, how come we're destroying this planet? We haven't inherited this planet from our parents. We borrowed it from our children. We have not been borrowing from our children. We've been stealing, and we're still stealing. And is it true there's nothing that can be done about it? Is it true, as many biologists and scientists will tell you, that we're so far on the disintegration of the systems that keep our planet alive that it's too late? I don't believe so. And I'll give you my reasons for hope. But it was because of meeting these young people and feeling if our young people lose hope, there really is no hope. And that led to this program that Becky mentioned, Roots and Shoots. It began in Tanzania in 1991 with 12 high school students. And sitting around on my veranda talking about what concerned them. They were worried about the environment. They were worried about cruelty to animals. They were worried about the poverty and the street children that they encountered. And so we started this program where they went back to their schools. There were 9 schools involved. They found other young people thinking as they did. We all met together. We talked about the problems. They wanted me to solve them. I said, I love Tanzania, but I'm not Tanzanian. But maybe you can do something about it if we help you. And so Roots and Shoots from the very beginning was a youth-driven program where young people decided what they wanted to do to make the world a better place, choosing 3 projects, one to help people, one to help animals, and one to help the environment we all share. With a theme running through it, the Roots and Shoots message, that every single one of us makes a difference every single day. That if we think about the consequences of what we do, what we eat, what we wear, how we get from A to B, we do start making small changes in our daily lives. And it's when millions and then billions of people on this overcrowded planet of ours start making decisions which are thoughtful for the future, for our own children in the future, for the planet that we all love. I mean, the pictures from Mars make it very clear we do not want to go and live on Mars. So we better start taking care of this planet. And we can only do it if we all get together. It's teamwork. It's joining hands. And so before I end this evening, this wonderful evening that so many people have worked so hard to bring about, and which I hope you all enjoy, I just want to introduce some of the people who make it possible for me to do what I do, and some of the people who make it possible for Roots and Shoots and the Jane Goodall Institute to do what it does. And first of all, I want to say that this has been an extraordinary new year for me, because when the Rose Bowl people, the Rose Parade people, first asked me if I would agree to be the Grand Marshal, I said, well, I can't, it's family time. So they said, all right, we'll bring your family. So my family has come from Tanzania and the UK, and I want them to come up here, because we all hold hands, because it's holding hands and doing things together. And I would just like you to stand up and hold hands with the person next to you, because we're all a family here. Don't we all want to save the planet, yes? Can we save the planet? That doesn't sound very convincing. Yes,
And now we present a profile of Father Edwin Garrigues, an environmental activist from the Philippines and recipient of the Goldman Environmental Prize, the world's largest and most prestigious environmental award. Father Garrigues mobilized a grassroots movement against a large-scale nickel mine to preserve the biodiversity and indigenous peoples of Mindoro Island. Through his courageous efforts, the permit for the mine was revoked by the government.
The Philippines is a vast archipelago of 7,000 islands, spread out like a string of vibrant jewels, in the blue waters of the Asian Pacific. A Catholic priest, was motivated by his religious faith to help the indigenous people here retain their land rights.
This is a challenge for the church to give voice to the voiceless.
In 2001, a Norwegian mining company, Intex, began drilling exploration of this fragile area to develop a nickel mine. The massive project would produce several million tons of toxic waste and be the size of over 1,000 football fields.
Mining has led to the destruction of ancestral forests, ancestral waters, ancestral lands of the indigenous peoples.
Government approval for the mine development to proceed unleashed a massive barrage of protests by Father Edu and his supporters. But it soon became clear that even more drastic measures were called for. The hunger strike lasted an excruciating 11 days, but it worked.
We stopped the mining operation right there and then because of our hunger strike.
The government responded by revoking the mining permit. It was a remarkable victory for the movement. Father Edu will see Mindoro's natural environment, fisheries, agricultural, and indigenous heritage continue to be protected.
Not sacrificing it for the sake of short-term gain.
For outstanding environmental achievement in islands and island nations, the 2012 Goldman Environmental Prize is awarded to Father Edwin Garrigues, Mindoro Island, Philippines.
Well, that's our show for today. I'm Bill McCarthy, and I want to thank you for watching Positive Spin. I hope this program has inspired you to take action in your local community to create a better world. And I want to remind you that everyone can make a difference. Go out and make some positive news.